Now that area that I've circled has two streets, Ninen-zaka and Sumizaka, that are supposed to be funky old areas. Ironically, that intersection right there where it says slope to the left is where I saw those characters and stops. So I'm thinking that the area I want is right up through here. So now all I have to do is figure out how to get into it. Taking the exact route I took up to the temple, I'm now this is the first left turn I found that would take me into this area. There's the tour bus parking area. So what I'm looking for, near as I can reckon, has to be all throughout this area. Looking for are these two streets, Ninen-zaka and Sannen-zaka. I don't know if this is that street or not. We're looking for them. Absent finding somebody I can show those Japanese words to, we won't know. But anyway, the reason we're here is that these two roads literally mean 2-year hill and 3-year hill. Years referring to ancient imperial years when this area was first laid out. And these two charming streets lined with old wooden houses, traditional shops and restaurants, many tea houses and cafes. One of Kyoto's loveliest restored neighborhoods. Imagine this is what we're talking about. All we can do is go searching. Not going far because this lady has a shop there, or was working at least, and she immediately knew where. Said go up here, there'll be some steps off to the left and go down. Okay, so a gentleman brought me up here and showed me where this was, and the Kodaiji Temple and those things. So we're going back to the Imperial days, which is kind of exciting, considering how much of Japan is completely rebuilt, as is this area here, but at least the illusion and it's the charisma of place. So the interesting thing is which, if any, of these buildings and what, if anything, we're looking at is actually original, or even a facsimile of it. Pretty little park. Could this have been in existence in the early days? This is a pretty little area behind those buildings, behind that street, with a little garden that looks like it had some precedent in the past. It's blocked off in several places. What a beautiful refuge for the people who work back here. You must imagine it had something to do with a shrine or someone's very expensive home. We're not brought in on a whim, and look at the path goes up here further on. We're blocked from it, but little shops back in this alcove. Well, this might be a shrine here, yeah, but a new building. Most you can do is try to imagine that there were buildings that kind of looked like this, that had residences upstairs and the shop in the bottom front. There's a Ninen-zaka path, so we'll take this route. Again, it may have just been an illusion that we will get of how it might have looked. This bit of roof be reminiscent of what they might have done, maybe. Again, we can try to fantasize that maybe this is what little alleys kind of looked like. I can just be grateful that there have been places in the world where what I saw really was the past. It's interesting to imagine what if it were something that might have been original. Look at the dressing on the bottom side. Cute sign for a noodle shop. You have to have a great imagination, and I don't have one that good, to imagine that this is somehow the past. Nice stairway leading into this curious kind of park area, but not really. Young couple in traditional garb for some reason. This was used as a base for a group of passionate Imperial loyalists for a half a year in 1867. show the artifice and the simplicity of the early warlords in this period and before. They induced the Ito, the leader of this group, to come visit the opposition and have tea. On his way home, he was assassinated by members of that group who were lying in ambush. And then a number of his comrades who went to retrieve the body were equally ambushed. Well, this had a pretty place to hang out before he died. The restaurant garden. And these leaves from this tree equally beautiful, just as filmy and gossamer and light and airy. Again, over here, anything to do with anything, including Buddha, is very restrained. For some reason, there's nobody walking around inside this complex, which I have not yet found the entrance to. Just thought this wood work was interesting. This is not Todaiji Temple. I already passed it, but didn't know I passed it. The other stairs down to my right, that is Kodaiji, but there are no signs that will tell you that in English. Assuming I'm at Todaiji Temple, but I have no evidence yet. I did want to get a shot of this pagoda, which looks pretty. That spire is unique and beautiful. Elegant lines, graceful lines, and with a fascinating bird up on top. That may be the crane or a goose or something. Having walked back here, I'm still not going to go inside and pay whatever it is, because I think it's probably not that interesting. 600 yen. The temple I saw with the beautiful spire may have been the Ninen Temple. Pretty entrance up to whatever that is. How precariously he's balanced. Got applauded being able to get up those steep slopes. I'm going to wander around the park a little bit just to restore my spirits from the frustration of trying to negotiate the lack of any useful information. Particularly pretty park. Doesn't appear that much has been done to make it so. Okay, I'm inside the park now. I don't know for sure what that building is. An intelligent map. Big entrance building. So up we go. Another amazing restoration project. Interesting two-tiered pagoda with the cylinder in between. A little bit of whimsy in this backyard. I'm now in an old kind of funky area. I saw these very pretty old, what I think are old platters, ring of Chinese. something Allegra would enjoy seeing if I can figure out a way to get these to her this summer. And this shop had caught my attention. Look at this stuff up there. Memorabilia junk shop, antique shop, whatever you want to call it. So now I'm at Sanjo-dori.